In today's Procreate tutorial, I'm giving you a secret weapon that's not just fun, it's a time saver. This will help you speed up your efficiency.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Once you crack the code on how to build your own stamp brushes, you may find yourself building huge libraries full of elements that you can use again and again in your original art, but saving yourself time because you don't have to redraw things again and again. This is one of those work smarter, not harder tutorials. To get started, let's open a new canvas. We'll start here with a custom canvas. Let's do 9 inches, setting inches here, 9 inches by 9 inches, 300 DPI. Remember that we can only work in black and white for brush design or shades of gray, but no color. So I'm just going to draw a little skelly doodle here. Kind of a fun little guy that could be like a Halloween or a Day of the Dead kind of thing. Fill those eyes in, a little upside down heart for the nose, and some teeth. I think I'll do some little spirals in the eyes just to kind of be fun. All right, so this is my doodle. This is going to be my stamp brush. First thing I want to do, we went through the trouble of making a square canvas. I want to make sure that whatever I drew is centered. So I'm just dragging my artwork and I want to make sure I'm centered on the vertical axis as well. So now I see those little guides light up. I'm locked in, leave it right there. This way, when I use my brush, it's predictable. When I put my Apple Pencil down, I know where the image is going to land. It's not going to be off center. When you create a brush in Procreate, or even in Photoshop, you're working in black and white or shades of gray. So it's very much like a mask. Think of it that way. Typically, I use black ink on a white canvas, but that's going to need to be reversed in the Brush Studio. I could either reverse it here, I could draw that, I could have drawn this white on black, but I'm going to show you my favorite way to actually just reverse it in the Brush Studio. So we have our image. I'm going to click on my wrench tool. I'm going to say copy canvas. Now I'll click on the brush. And in my brush library, I have a little category, my brushes. And I'm going to hit plus. This will start a new brush for me. What we want to do is go down to the shape selection. And right now the shape is just a circle. So our circle brush, you could see on the drawing pad, would behave like this. And if I want to preview what this brush does, you can just test your brushes out here on your drawing pad. We're going to change the shape of this brush. So it's no longer a circle, it's actually our little skull. Up here in Shape Source, it's tricky to see because it's just this little gray button. It doesn't even look like you could do anything with it, but you can. We're going to edit the shape source. In the shape editor, we have the option to import something else now. And this can actually be a photo, but today, what we're going to do is paste. Since I did copy canvas on what I drew, I'm going to paste, and boom, there's my entire canvas, nice and square like it should be. The only thing now that's a little bit wrong is, just like a mask, the white part would be the color and the black part would be empty. We don't want that, we want to reverse it. So for 2 fingers, quick tap, easy way to reverse your artwork. That's done. I have my little skull shape in here. Can go to my drawing pad, clear it, and if I test it out, we can see that first of all, it has a lot of problems.
Fix it! Repeat as necessary until it's all fixed!
Problem number 1, stroke path. We need to have the spacing be all the way open for a stamp brush. That means the little skull will be isolated. The next thing I want to change is properties down here. I want the maximum size to be able to be really big. I bring it right up to max there, as far as I can go. Testing it once more, I'm going to just lightly tap with this pencil. And you can kind of see that if I tap harder, I get a more fully opaque version. And if I just tap lightly, it's sort of faded. I don't want that for a stamp brush. The way to change that is over here in my Apple Pencil settings. The opacity needs to be all the way down to none. That way, now when I work on this, it doesn't matter if I tap lightly or I tap with all my might, it's going to be 100% opaque. Okay, I'll click done on this brush, come out to my canvas. I'm going to turn off the artwork that I did there, and we're going to have a little fun here. I'm going to put a purple background. And up here, I have my brush selected. I'll choose sort of a pale purple, and there we are. So now I have a stamp that I can easily apply, and I can also change my size. I can make it small. I can make it pretty large. If I go back in to edit this brush, there are some other settings that I can change if I don't want it to be always predictable. So in dynamics, you can shift the size jitter. That means you can kind of see here on the drawing pad, some will be large and some will be small. It's a little bit randomized. So I'll turn that up all the way. Now when I apply this brush, I really don't know what I'm going to get.
You never know what you're going to get.
Could be large, could be small. But notice they're all still at the same exact angle. If we want to change that, back into the brush, we'll go back into the shape editor and we'll let it be rotated. I'll crank it all the way up. We'll see what we get. So now we really don't know what we're going to get. It could be tilted any which way, and it could be small and it could be large. And remember, we had the option to import photos into our brush designer too. So this is how a photograph would look as a brush. The art can only be grayscale, but that can still work really well for things like tattoo designs, or you can still go in and do your own colorization. You can find stamped brushes to purchase on shops like Etsy. Another great source for purchasing stamped brushes for Procreate would be Creative Market. And maybe you'd like to try selling your own digital assets on things like Etsy or Creative Market for other artists to use. I hope this video helped you to think about ways you might be able to incorporate using brushes in your workflow to sort of speed up your efficiency and help you reuse elements rather than having to redraw all the time. Now you have some insight into how a brush is created. To level this up, maybe the next step would be learning how to do a seamlessly patterned brush. I also have a video on that. Thank you for watching, and if this is really helping you out, please don't forget to like and subscribe to Rockin Chalk.